everyone, this is Angie, and today I wanted to do a review of my collection of Christian Louboutin shoes because I am a very long time huge fan of Christian Louboutin. Well over a decade at this point. As I was moving out here, I have gotten my shoe collection of Christian Louboutins down to 13 of my favorite pairs. So I wanted to go over them with you. I wanted to go into a little bit of history behind Christian Louboutin. Christian Louboutin was born in 1964, so he's about 62 years old right now. And he was born in Paris, and he was never quite an academic type. He was actually expelled from school 3 times. And at the age of 12, he decided to run away from home. During his teens, he ran away to Egypt. He also spent a year living in India. And then in 1981, he decided to return to Paris with a portfolio of drawings of high-heeled shoes. And he took this portfolio to different couture houses. And eventually he became an apprentice to Roger Vivier, who was credited with creating the first stiletto high heel. So from there, he also worked as a freelance designer for major fashion houses such as Chanel and YSL. And in 1991, he decided to open up his own boutique and company under his name, Christian Louboutin. His first client was Princess Caroline of Monaco, so he already had kind of an established fan base before his name got more out there in the public and amongst the celebrity circles. Around 1992 to 1993, he was working on a prototype for a model of his shoes called the Pensée. And while he was looking at it, he felt like something was missing on the shoes. He looked over at his assistant, who was painting her nails with a red nail polish, and he got this brilliant idea. So he asked her to borrow her nail polish and put it on the sole of the Pensée prototype, and voila, the red-soled shoes were born. And he patented the red soles with the US Patent and Trademark in 1997, but he is actually not the creator of red soles for shoes. Red soles were a thing long before Christian Louboutin in fashion history. I believe King Louis XIV was famous for wearing shoes with red soles in them, but Louboutin was the first to trademark the red soles. And this would come in handy in making his shoes recognizable throughout the world because no other company can put red soles on their shoes because of his specific trademark. And the color for the Christian Louboutin red soles is the Pantone colored Chinese red. So the first pair that I am going to show you is my favorite pair, and they are these Kate Strass in version AB in 100 millimeters. And these are just absolutely stunning. They're the so-called Cinderella shoes because in the sunlight it just glitters like it's glass. These are hand-placed Swarovski crystals. And I'm not sure how many of these there are, maybe hundreds, maybe even thousands of crystals are on here. And as you can see, I had these customized because they were actually my wedding shoes. And I haven't worn them outside of the wedding because it's a little bit hard to wear. You need a kind of a formal occasion. And I mean, because I've only worn them for about 4 to 5 hours at the wedding, I'm not sure how delicate these crystals are. So far, none of them have fallen out, and hopefully they stay that way. But They're just beautiful to look at sitting on my shelf, and just for memories, because they are my wedding shoes. I don't plan to get rid of them, even though I can't find too many occasions to wear them. My next pair of Louboutins, and these are also Strass. I have a couple of Strass versions of his shoes because I find them to be so gorgeous. These are the Pigalle Folies Dégradé. They start off red at the back and it goes down to an orange to a light pink to a dark pink. These Pigalle Folies came out around 2015. I don't think he makes these anymore, nor does he make the regular version without the crystals. The So Kate and the Kate was supposed to be an update on the Pigalle and the Pigalle Folies, but these are absolutely stunning. They are definitely a lot more uncomfortable than the Kates, but I think it's because of the heel height, because these are 120 millimeters. The vamp is cut quite low compared to the Kate, like so. The Kate has a bit of a higher vamp, so it's less crushing on your feet. I tried to wear these when I was in New York, when I went out to dinner with a friend, and these were definitely like Uber to straight to the restaurant kind of shoes. Even walking to the Uber was very difficult for me. My third pair of shoes are these Fifi Strass spikes. And these are 100 millimeters. So again, these are, I wouldn't say super comfortable, but for Christian Louboutins, for high heels, they're actually not too bad. You can tell I've worn them quite a bit. They're a little bit easier to wear than the red Pigalle Folies or the Crystal AB Kates because they are black. So they're not as flashy, although I guess that's subjective because you have these spikes. So they do kind of stand out. And if you wear them and accidentally kick your feet the wrong way, you could end up actually hurting someone because some of these spikes are quite spiky, quite sharp, and they hurt quite a bit. My fourth pair are these Méchant Runs from 2018, and these were actually half Strass, so they came with these silver crystals at the tip of the shoes along with these spikes, but I decided to add some red Swarovski crystals myself. And these are also quite a bit out there. I don't find them to be as uncomfortable as the Pigalle Folies despite the 120 millimeter heel height, mainly because these gauze grain ribbons, when you tie it up around your legs, it helps to stabilize the shoes. But the downside of these is the PVC. If you wear these for too long, the PVC really does kind of keep all the moisture inside and you'll see the fog and it'll feel a little bit uncomfortable. But I love the look of these. My fifth pair of Louboutins, which are also one of my favorites, is Pix & Co. in black in 120 millimeter heel height. This came in two colorways. There's this black version and a rose gold version. I got the black because I'm a sucker for black lace. And despite how delicate the lace looks, it's actually quite sturdy because there is a stabilizer on the inside as well as this black leather piping all around it. But I love the look of the lace with the black spikes and the crystals. I think it gives the shoes a feminine touch, but with a little bit of an edge. So you can pair it with different kinds of outfits, not just dresses. And they are quite uncomfortable. I never found the Pigalle to be all that comfortable, mainly because of the height as well as the low vamp. My next pair, and this was one of my first ever pairs of Christian Louboutins. I got these around 2013, I believe, and they are called the Fortiche. So the Fortiche comes in 100mm heel height. This also came in two colorways, the black and the white. And these are a little bit special because they actually didn't come with these crystals. I got them for the black lace, and it just came with the black leather piping down the front. But I had a pair of Jimmy Choos that I had worn out, and I was about to toss them out because I had broken a heel on one of them, and I decided to take the crystals off of them and put them onto here and transform these into, I guess, a customized pair. I love the look of the crystals against the lace. I would say these are not too comfortable. The straps are pretty thin. The stiletto heel height is quite thin. As you can see, I haven't worn them much at all. I think I've worn them a few times indoors. My next pair that I brought with me to my first ever and only trip to Paris in 2019. I didn't get these in Paris. I got them in New York and brought with me to Paris to do a photo shoot. Are these Metalip 120 in leopard printed pony hair. And what makes these shoes distinctive are these gold metal heels, and they're really skinny. I'm guessing maybe less than 5mm in diameter. Because of that, they're not very comfortable at all, but they're just so beautiful. I've never seen another leopard printed pair of shoes like this, with the gold metal heel and the gold toe cap and the chain across. And my last pair of Louboutins that I saved for last because they're not quite finished. And by not quite finished, what I mean is that I tried to strass them myself, and then I realized that strassing takes a really long time. It's hours of work and it is quite tedious. So these are my Banana 140s. And as you can see, I did finish one side of the left shoe and almost the other side of the left shoe, but the right side, I started it and just could not find the time to finish it. My idea was to wear these for my wedding, and I wasn't able to do this in time, which is how I ended up with the Kate strass. So I'm kind of glad that I got lazy and didn't finish this. These I haven't worn, obviously, because the strassing job isn't finished. But before I strassed these were a brown, white, kind of suede material. And I wore them a few times, had them vibromed, had the heel tips changed too. But they're quite comfortable despite the 140mm heel height because of this large platform. But you still have to balance a bit because of this curve on the bottom of the sole. So when you're walking, it can feel a little bit wobbly. My current favorite flats from him are these Foley's flat in Crystal Dégradé. And this is in black. I believe they also have a beige version. These black I felt were a little bit more versatile, and they're comfortable because they're mesh. Not like you won't have any fluid or sweat pooling up because of the mesh. They're really good for summer. My next pair is very similar to the Foley's flat, but these are the Strass PVCs. And these I also wore to my elopement and part of my wedding. I like the look because they have that kind of glass slipper kind of feel. But again, the problem with the PVC flats, just like the Méchant Ren, is that if you wear it for a really long time, it will fog up and feel kind of uncomfortable, especially on a hot day. My third pair of flats are these mixed black. I got these because I was looking for a flat version of the Pix & Co. They are a bit comparable, but not exactly the same because this is not a lace detailing. This is a mesh detailing on the mixed black. And the mixed black also doesn't have the Swarovski crystals. They're not really comfortable. I would say that even some of my high heels are more comfortable than these because the toe portion of the shoes, it's very hard and it pinches your toes a lot. And because it's a mesh and this cap toe area has these spikes with the patent leather, it's very hard with little give. So it doesn't stretch at all. My next pair of flats, I was obsessed with the leopard pony hair metal lips. So I looked for a flat version of those and found these. So these are also leopard print pony hair, but instead of the gold metal, it has this red patent bow and piping detailing with a little peep toe. And these are quite comfortable. I wore these to a trip to Tahiti with my husband. I wore them for about a week non-stop, walked many miles and hours in these, as you can tell by the sole. And I was able to survive in them, so definitely very comfortable. I do plan to get these Vibrams so I can wear them more. My last pair of Louboutins are also my most worn pair, and I wore these on my honeymoon through the rain in Bali, as well as a lot of sand in Australia, and just walking all around New Zealand as well for 2 weeks. These are the square-toed, I'm not sure what the official name of these are, but they have a tuxedo kind of style detailing. And I bought these in my true size, 36.5. And because they are leather on the side, as well as the cap and the heel, they do stretch and mold to your feet. So that was my collection, or my current collection of Christian Louboutin shoes. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, goodbye.